Ladies and gentlemen, our top dispatch this afternoon, 1 year since the Pahalgam massacre, the political temperatures once again reaching boiling point as the nation, including the Prime Minister Amit Shah and the Defence Minister, pay tribute to those who lost their lives, all 26 of them. The Congress has launched a scathing attack against the centre, calling it intelligence failure, calling the Pahalgam attack an intelligence failure. Congress MP Jairam Ramesh is leading the charge. He has slammed the Prime Minister's foreign policy as self-congratulatory and hollow. He is claiming that post-2611 Pakistan was a global pariah. But today, despite a shambolic economy, the Pakistani army chief is gaining global respectability just days after making communal provocations, threats before the Pahalgam strike. The Congress is trying to build the narrative of complete failure vis-a-vis Pahalgam's attacks, but the centre has replied back. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh hitting back, saying all of you saw how the Indian army proved its might during Operation Sindoor. Take a listen to what Rajnath Singh has said.
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में हमारी सेना ने क्या कमाल किया है तो बतलाने की जरूरत है नहीं। यानी हमारी मिलिट्री पावर भी मजबूत हुई है पहले से। भारत ने आज तक, भारत की हिस्ट्री उठाकर देख ले कोई, आज तक भारत ने दुनिया के किसी देश पर अपनी तरफ से आक्रमण नहीं किया। लेकिन जो ताकतवर होता है वो जल्दी किसी के ऊपर आक्रमण करता भी नहीं है। लेकिन यह है कि यदि अब किसी पड़ोसी ने कोई छेड़छाड़ करने की कोशिश की तो डॉट डॉट डॉट। और पड़ोसी तो ठीक ठाक है, एक ही गड़बड़ है।
Meanwhile, Congress leader Udit Raj and its spokesperson Shama Mohammed have also targeted the government. They are saying that the BJP is exploiting tragedies like Pahalgam for electoral gains. Listen in.
देखिए, पहलगाम की जो घटना आतंकवादी की है, क्या सारे पकड़े गए? आरडीएक्स के नाते जो जवानों की मौत हुई थी पिछले समयों में पुलवामा में, क्या वो जवान जो लोग इस घटना में संलिप्त थे, क्या वो पकड़े गए? अमेरिका के कहने पर तो आप सरेंडर हो गए, लेकिन देश की सरकार को जो काम करना चाहिए, देश के जनता का भरोसा जीतना चाहिए, उनकी सुरक्षा करना चाहिए, उसके बारे में सरकार पूरी तरह फिसडी साबित हो रही है।
It is not just Pahalgam, even the Pulwama. It's already about 2019 that Pulwama took place. It's already 7 years. They're still unable to find out how the RDX entered the country. And Pahalgam, it is already 1 year. They are unable to find out who is the real culprit. And it is a total failure of the intelligence, of the country. And still Mr. Amit Shah is ruling the roost. A very unfortunate thing.
देखिए, पहलगाम हमले के बाद केंद्र सरकार ने कहा कि हम ऑपरेशन सिंदूर शुरू कर रहे हैं। ऐसा लग रहा था कि इस बार पाकिस्तान ऑक्यूपाइड कश्मीर, जो कि टेररिज्म की नर्सरी है, उस पाकिस्तान ऑक्यूपाइड कश्मीर को हम ले लेंगे। अमेरिका के राष्ट्रपति ने अनाउंस कर दिया कि भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच में सीज फायर हो गया। हमारे देश की सरकार ने कहा हाँ, जो प्रधानमंत्री जो ट्रंप साहब कह रहे हैं वो सही है। उन चिताओं की आग ठंडी भी नहीं हुई थी कि हमने पाकिस्तान के साथ क्रिकेट मैच खेलने शुरू कर दिए।
पहलगाम का आतंकवादी हमला हम सबके लिए बहुत तकलीफ की बात थी। रही बात कांग्रेस की और इन सब नेताओं की जो कह रहे हैं, शायद ये सुनते नहीं हैं ध्यान से। हमारे गृह मंत्री जी ने एक एक बात एक्सप्लेन करी कि कैसे इन आतंकवादियों को रडार पे लाया गया, कैसे इनको नास्ताबूद किया गया, इनको जान से मारा गया और ये हमारी सेनाओं की मेहनत से बहुत कम टाइम में इनको ख़त्म कर दिया गया था। और ये पूरी रिपोर्ट गृह मंत्री जी ने लोकसभा के पटल पर रखी थी। तो आज फिर से उस सवाल को उठाना, तो लगता है कांग्रेस सिर्फ अपने पॉइंट याद रखती है, सरकार क्या कर रही है वो जो बताती है उसको सुनने में उनका कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है।
Okay, all of it was started, of course, by Jairam Ramesh when he put out a tweet essentially saying that Pakistan stood isolated post-2008 and the terror attacks in Mumbai. But post-Pahalgam, look at what has happened. According to him, the very failed state whose army chief had made inflammatory and communally provocative statements just a few days prior to Pahalgam has now acquired a new global respectability. I'm just quoting from the tweet that Jairam Ramesh has put out. He says, in many ways, this reflects the complete failure of the substance of the Prime Minister's foreign policy and the self-glorifying style of his diplomatic engagement. Should he reset? Of course, yes. Will he reset? Most certainly, he will not, says Jairam Ramesh. Nyamika, can I just bring you in and help and ask you why the Congress thought it necessary to bash the government on a day as sensitive as today?
Well, the Congress party is basically stating that it is a very painful day for the entire country because just an year back there was this Pahalgam terror attack which had taken place in which many of the people have also lost their lives, but they are also, continuously attacking the government of India regarding this entire issue, not just about the terrorist, about the intel failure, but also they are questioning the diplomacy, the foreign policy of our country, because they have stated that after this Pahalgam terror attack, there was an initiative which was being taken by the government of India where the all-party delegation was sent to many other countries just to get some kind of support. But it is in fact the Pakistan which has been glorified all across the world. As for that reason, not just Mr. Jairam Ramesh, but the other leaders of the Congress party have also tweeted in this regard, and he has also stated the same thing, that Pakistan, who is basically a completely failed country, whose army chief had given provocative statement just ahead of this particular attack which had taken place in Pahalgam. Now the same country has earned respect all across the world, as he is basically stating that this is a complete failure of the foreign policy of our country. And not just that, but he has also attacked Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that this shows the mirror to the Prime Minister's self-congratulatory diplomatic style, in which he has basically stated that on one side we claim that what we have done in terms of foreign policy, what kind of relations we have.
War of words will only escalate now, Nyamika. I think it is just starting with Jairam Ramesh's tweet. It will only escalate. The BJP will step in as well. Meanwhile, today marks 1 year of the Pahalgam terror attack, an afternoon that turned into one of the most chilling civilian massacres in Jammu and Kashmir. 26 people were identified based on their religion, targeted and then mercilessly killed. 1 year later, all the gunmen behind the massacre are dead, eliminated in Operation Mahadev. The terror handlers in Pakistan were killed in Operation Sindhu. But the bigger question always remains, who was the mastermind? We will tell you how the terror footprint leads all the way to Pakistan's failed Marshal Asif Munir. Today, we are bringing you exclusive details from the investigations, a complete reconstruction of the attack, the handlers, the command chain, and the evidence trail that leads across the border, obviously, from Baisaran to Islamabad and back to Dakchigam. That is the full story, and we begin with the biggest revelation. The investigations have now established a direct link to Pakistan's deep state. Sources are telling Times Now that the army chief, Asif Munir, emerges as a central figure in the larger orchestration of this attack. Investigators, in fact, have traced directives to the ISI headquarters in Rawalpindi, placing the origins of this operation across the border. Around the same time, Munir delivered a speech, if you remember, invoking the two-nation theory and describing Kashmir as Pakistan's jugular vein. That speech, ladies and gentlemen, has been flagged during the probe as part of the larger context in which this attack was planned. This is where the trail begins, and what follows is a step-by-step blueprint on how the massacre was actually executed. Times Now will take you inside the terror blueprint from the first coordinates to the final shots fired. Take a look at this. In mid-April 2025, GPS coordinates of locations around Baisaran were sent through WhatsApp by a Lashkar operative based in Islamabad. The message was received by Bilal Afzal, also known as Faisal Jatt. The attackers moved into a forested area about 6 kilometers from Baisaran and spent 2 days locking in their plans. Investigators have found that screenshots of these coordinates were stored using Alpine Quest navigation app, a detail that has been confirmed through forensic analysis as well. Rains delayed their movement into the valley. During that window, the attackers took shelter in a mountain hut. The terrorists then established contact with 2 local residents. The NIA later arrested both men, alleging they provided logistical support in exchange for money. On April 22nd, at around 10 in the morning, the attackers entered Baisaran with weapons concealed under their shawls. They surveyed the area, waited for crowds to gather, and then struck between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Eyewitnesses are telling investigators that tourists were forced to recite the kalma. Those who could not were simply shot point blank. 26 civilians were killed. Investigators say Bilal alone fired at 11 of the victims using an M4 rifle. The attack, according to the probe, was carried out on direct instructions from a Lashkar commander operating from Pakistan. And now the biggest reveal of them all, ladies and gentlemen. Just take a look at your screen. This is the national identity card that has been accessed during the investigation. The name on it, take a look at it very closely. It's Habib Ullah Tabassum. This document establishes his Pakistani identity. Investigators say the man used multiple aliases: Salim, Saifullah, Sajid Jatt, and operated as a Lashkar handler coordinator from across the border. Born in Kasur, Pakistan, he was once a Lashkar commander, operated in Kulgam, before moving to Pakistan to manage cross-border operations. He has been designated a terrorist under Indian law since 2021. Investigators say he ran training camps, coordinated attacks, and maintained a civilian cover while directing operations. In the Pahalgam attack, he is identified as the handler who issued the instructions that set the operation in motion. And the investigation doesn't stop at identifying the handler. It is backed by official records as well. Take a look at this document on your screens now. This is a notification issued by India's Ministry of Home Affairs, and the same individual identified in the Pahalgam probe appears here as well with multiple aliases: Sajid, Jatt, Saifullah, Numi, etc. The document lists his real identity as Habibullah Malik, born on September 3rd in Kasur, Pakistan, son of Muhammad Rafiq. It's all there. It also links him to Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Resistance Front, detailing his role in recruitment and terror operations. Investigators say this is the same man who operated under different identities and directed the Pahalgam attack from across the border. Let me go straight across to my colleague Sahil, who's joining us on the broadcast. In fact, he's joining us from Baisaran. Thank you very much, Sahil, for joining us this afternoon. We've just detailed for our viewers what investigations have found so far and how the link to Pahalgam directly ties up with Asim Munir. But today, can I ask you what Baisaran and what Pahalgam look like?
Well, first of all, we are exactly in the same time frame now that witnessed this brutal terror attack last year in Baisaran Valley of Pahalgam. It was around 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. In between these 3 Pakistani terrorists who were in fact being handled by Pakistani terror commander Sajid Jatt, and in fact was coordinating this terror attack from Pakistani soil, had targeted and fired upon these 25 tourists and a local resident in Baisaran Valley of Pahalgam. And now the NIA investigations have in fact found this direct link between the terrorists and the Pakistan. In fact, the Pakistani terrorists who were the attackers were later eliminated in Operation Mahadev, and the 2 accused in this particular case were the local residents and had hosted these terrorists inside the hill park area of Pahalgam, just a few meters away from the Baisaran Valley, had also identified them when they were eliminated in Operation Sindoor. Now, a lot of things have changed in Pahalgam. While the security has been, in fact, heightened around Pahalgam and, in fact, in the forest areas, we also see proactive measures being taken by the security forces. security forces. In fact, a lot of measures being taken to ensure the safety and security of the tourists who visit. For after Pahalgam terror attack, we have around, and in fact the Pahalgam has recorded around the arrival of 8 lakh tourists, which is high. In the month of May, there was in fact less number of tourist arrivals, just around 15,000, but then it gradually started picking up, and the resilience of local residents and in fact the tourists from the nation has shown up, and in fact it stands reflected on the ground. So while the terrorists who in fact attacked these tourists in Massacre Valley of Pahalgam stand eliminated, but their handlers are in Pakistan, and in fact they are under closed watch, and Government of India ensuring that all the perpetrators of this Pahalgam terror are
we leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for joining us. We are moving to Dispatch 2 this afternoon. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, if you remember, yesterday hurled a jibe at the Prime Minister, calling him a terrorist in Chennai. Now a full-blown political war of words has erupted between the BJP and the Congress. In fact, a BJP delegation comprising of Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal and others have met with the Election Commission of India demanding action against Mr. Kharge. In a memorandum to the poll panel, the BJP has demanded suitable penal and regulatory proceedings under various sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and the appropriate campaign restrictions to be imposed on him.
हमने कमीशन को रिक्वेस्ट किए हैं कि देश का कोई भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी अगर इस तरह का भाषा का प्रयोग करेंगे तो ये हमारे पार्टी का सरकार का विषय नहीं है। लोकतंत्र के लिए बहुत ही ये घिनौना हरकत है और लोकतंत्र को ये बहुत नीचे तरीके से कमजोर करने जा रहे हैं। सख्ती से सख्ती कार्रवाई किया जाए, हमने मांग किया है, और हमने ये भी मांग किया है कि मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी, कांग्रेस पार्टी पूरा देश के लोगों से माफी मांगे और इलेक्शन कमीशन उपयुक्त कार्रवाई करना चाहिए ताकि कोई हिम्मत ना करे कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री को आतंकवादी कहे। इसका जरूरत नहीं होना चाहिए।
Bring to the notice of the commission that no less a person than the president of the Congress party and the leader of the opposition in Rajya Sabha has spoken in such condemnable words, and not just anywhere, not sitting with his friends. He went choosing an election-bound state, sitting there, addressing the media, and in that chose to call the Prime Minister a terrorist. It has been a pattern in the Congress party that they chose an abusive language against the Prime Minister. And they repeatedly use it. There's no change or correction in their course.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big attack now coming in from the Vice President of India, C.P. Radhakrishnan. He was addressing an event in Karnataka. He's saying, and I quote, "Sometimes one feels that Kharge does not differentiate between black and white or between terrorists and terror to terrorists."
I get a little difference with our Kharge, only a vision difference. Sometimes I feel Kharge don't differentiate between the black and white. Sometimes between the terrorist and the terror to the terrorist. Otherwise, I have no problem. He is a very good friend of mine.
Let me go straight across to my colleague Mohit Bhatt, who is tracking the Election Commission for us. There was a high-profile delegation of the BJP, Mohit, that has just stepped out of the Election Commission. They had gone to lodge a complaint against Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. Given the fact that Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has already stepped out and clarified that he didn't mean to say that the Prime Minister is a terrorist, what he meant to say was that the Prime Minister with his agencies is terrorizing political parties. In that context, what is the possible action that can be taken by the EC against Mr. Kharge?
Well, you see, BJP is latching on to the statement that has been made by Mallikarjun Kharge, calling Prime Minister as terrorist. Now, when in the press conference he was asked by the reporters what do you mean, he said that he means that Prime Minister and the government is terrorizing the political parties by the use of agencies, and that is what the Congress explanation has been. But the BJP says that the use of word terrorist against the Prime Minister is very derogatory in nature, very demeaning, and the BJP says that it has a pattern behind it. In 2007, Sonia Gandhi called Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was then the Chief Minister of Gujarat, as Maut Ka Saudagar. Manishankar Ayyar called him Chai Wala. Abuses have been hurled against the Prime Minister. Various attacks have been made. But calling a Prime Minister a terrorist is something which was not expected of the Congress party. And perhaps that is why a delegation of senior BJP leaders went to Election Commission. They met the full bench of Election Commission, and they have demanded that a strict action should be taken against Mallikarjun Kharge. Also, they say that this is the clear violation of MCC, and hence Election Commission should step in and to ensure that such things are not repeated. Also, they have asked for the action in the penal provisions of Bharatiya Nyaya Sahinta. So we have to wait and watch what exactly would be the action taken by the Election Commission. So that is the Election Commission point of it. But when it comes to the narrative, BJP clearly is strongly reacting to the statement made by Kharge, and also BJP sees this as an opportunity to take to the people on the ground about that how Prime Minister, an elected Prime Minister of a country who has votes of thousands, lakhs and crores of people, has been abused by the top leadership of the Congress party again and again, and BJP surely will be making this a poll issue in run-up to the Tamil Nadu and West Bengal elections.
We have Delhi's Chief Minister already speaking. Rekha Gupta, thank you, Mohit. In an exclusive conversation, she has slammed Mallikarjun Kharge, saying that the Congress and its leaders have lost their mental balance. Let's listen into what Rekha Gupta has said.
निश्चित रूप में ये मानती हूँ और देश की जनता भी ये मानती है कि ये जो पार्टी है कांग्रेस पार्टी और इसके नेताओं का मानसिक संतुलन बिगड़ चुका है और देश की हर संवैधानिक संस्था को और संवैधानिक पद पे बैठे हुए गरिमामयी व्यक्तित्व को कोसने का इनका काम है। कभी इलेक्शन कमीशन को गाली देना, कभी लोकतंत्र को गाली देना, कभी आप राष्ट्रपति को कुछ बुरा भला बोल देना, कभी प्रधानमंत्री जी को कह देना। यहाँ पर किसी भी तरह का उनके अंदर वो ना उनका स्वभाव है, ना उनका जनता और देश के प्रति कोई मोह है। कभी सेनाओं को वो कोसते हैं। देश का नागरिक देख रहा है किस तरीके से इतने सालों तक देश पे राज करने वाली ये कांग्रेस पार्टी आज जब जनता ने उसको दुत्कारना शुरू कर दिया तो कैसे चरमराए हुए हैं, किस तरीके से भौराए हुए हैं कि वो कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं। आज कुछ भी स्पष्टीकरण देने से उसका कोई लाभ नहीं है, क्योंकि जनता समझ चुकी है कि किस तरह के जहर से वो भरे हुए हैं। वो जहर बार बार बाहर आता है और पूरा देश उसे देखता है।
Ladies and gentlemen, big breaking news coming in. We are hearing from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh again. He is highlighting India's peace push in the middle of the West Asia war. He's saying that India has already made efforts and that India could step in when the moment is appropriate. Let's listen in to the Defence Minister. All right, we'll try and get you that bite as soon as possible, but he's also emphasizing that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken a balanced diplomatic approach. He's saying engaging with global leaders has included Vladimir Putin, Zelensky and Donald Trump. Let's listen in to Rajnath Singh.
भारत ने कोशिश भी की है अपनी तरफ से, लेकिन आप जानते हैं कभी-कभी कहीं कोई क्राइसिस चल रही होती है तो कहीं कोई समस्या रहती है ना, सबका एक समय हुआ करता है। हो सकता है कि कल का वो समय आ जाए कि जबकि भारत उसमें अपना रोल प्ले करे, उसको सक्सेस भी हासिल हो जाए। इस पॉसिबिलिटी को भी रूल आउट नहीं किया जा सकता। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दोनों लोगों से अपील की कि युद्ध बंद होना चाहिए और बहुत ही संतुलित अप्रोच, बहुत ही बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच हमारी प्राइम मिनिस्टर की है डिप्लोमेटिक मामलों में।
With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap from me. Thank you very much for joining. Amit Shah is joining you next with all the day's top stories. Do stay with us.